Hello. Hi, everyone. Ah, you can see my arms on the table as well. Hi, everyone. Welcome to some board games. Can you see me okay? Can you hear me okay? I think it's all coming through all right. Thanks for joining me. Let's play some Great Western Trail. Oh, hi, everyone. It hasn't come up on screen, but thanks for all your chat and being here and stuff. Yeah, we're going to do some Great Western Trail that I did a few years ago in its original form, which has slightly been tweaked. You can see on Board Game Geek, people much more knowledgeable than me have gone through the tweaks, the refinements that have been done to the cards, some of the stops. We're arriving in a different order, things like that have been tweaked. But it comes with cowboys with hats now, if that was a deal breaker before. But it also comes with a solo mode. That is, hey, Sarah, very wrong about games. It is actually, I think all of Alexander's other solo modes are designed by him, I think. But this is so it's at least based on a variant that existed. I think a fan-made variant on Board Game Geek. It's based on Garth, a variant created by Steve Scheppelhorst with the help of Will Gherkin and David Lavoie. It's called Lonely Are the Brave. It's the solo mode that we're going to be playing, and it's new to this edition of the game. Although, if you've got the first edition and you go on Board Game, you can have a look for Garth. I assume it's still up. Well, hey everyone, hope you're doing okay. Hey Sheffy, Sasha, you're looking forward to this. Thank you for being here. Hey Steve, Moran, Matt. Sorry for missing anyone out. I'm trying to scroll back and it keeps snapping me back to the bottom. Hey Joseph, are you about to film one as well? Oh great, looking forward to that. I hope you do better. I hope you learn from any terrible strategic mistakes I make. But yeah, we're gonna be trying it out. So I'll never say I was once that great at Great Western Trail, but that was alright. Hopefully we can go back to that former glory. And so since this isn't one of, I imagine he's had input and has made his tweaks to his liking, Alexander, but in his other bots, say in Maracaibo and Boone Lake, they push you through the game, they rush you through, and you've got to adapt to that and try and do what you can before the game's ended underneath you. So I wonder if this is going to be like that, although maybe it's not going to be, because it's it's based on an existing thing. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Hey Doomy, how's it going? Howdy. Yeah, I never tried Garth at the time. I don't remember whether I didn't see it or it got made afterwards. I don't know when it came about, but hey, it sounds cool, and it's great that it's a part of the game as you get it now. So what should I say before we get started? I think we're ready to get started. Hopefully it's not going to be a strategic disaster anyway. I'll get the basic rules and stuff right. I've got there's some great player aids as well. Action Andy makes great player aids, well, like rule summaries on Board Game Geek. He's got one for Great Western Trail, just so I don't have to mess around getting the appendix and stuff out all the time. Although the board is so zoomed out that you're probably going to see my mouse sneaking in from time to time because there's no more table down here. I need to be able to beat it. You beat my Boone Lake score. Great. I'm glad to hear that because, yeah, I don't do too well. Oh yeah, we've got to use Sheriff Marty coins. And that's why Sheriff Marty, who's a kind of, I'm going off on a tangent. If you're watching this back later and you're just here for the gameplay, skip until the watchful eye of Sheriff Marty's going along. But he should be watching this whole playthrough, right? This is his wheelhouse. But we definitely got the, oh yeah, I was going to show, of course, it comes with cardboard coins and stuff. Great Western Trail themed cardboard coins, but wherever possible, we're using the Marty bucks. Why not? It also comes with a plastic, a shaped plastic insert for the stuff, which is a bit bad. It doesn't really fit the things in it. It's cool. It's the thought that counts, right? But in terms of usability, I'm getting rid of it. It fits the cards for the game as they are in sealed packs. I wonder if it's kind of been designed, kind of calculated, to the millimeter where everything was, just conceptually maybe. And when it actually comes to putting stuff in there, as soon as you open the pack of cards, it's too big for the space in there, and the tiles don't quite fit and stuff. But hey, we'll be alright. I played Anachrony Fractures of Time. Is that the one that came with the expansion, I can't remember if I've played the... Oh yeah, that is the expansion, isn't it, Fraction of Time? It comes with a different bot, doesn't it? I only played with the Anacrobot. I only ever had a prototype, I think, of the expansion. So it didn't have solo when I played it. But a great game. I think we've got table space over here. It's just... and I've got mouse space. It's just you're going to see it. Because we are so zoomed out to fit in a great big board and some cards underneath. But it'll be alright. You'll just see a mouse sneaking in every now and then. Right. So, should we get started? Oh, before that, I always say that as I realise I'm about to start. Pretty much everything that I do is supported by Patreon. If you would like to help me make things, patreon.com/slickerdrips. And you can join all of these people that help me out. Many of whom are in the chat. Thank you very much, everyone, for making all of this happen. And, being here in general and spreading the word and telling YouTube that you like it and stuff is great as well. Whatever you do, keep at it. You're doing all right. Yeah, we're getting there gradually, slowly but surely. We're on the road to 200 patrons, although not as slowly as I was thinking. We're getting there, right? Marty, yeah, this is how Marty copes with the stresses of fame and appearing on the internet. He'll do it asleep, but he's kind of facing the camera this time. It's as close as you get into him actually facing you. Usually he's burrowed with his face in the blanket miles away. Right. Oh yes, thanks for activating the Patreon bot. It's a race to see who can activate that every 5 minutes. I think it's still 5 minutes, or did I change that? My first game was 5 hours long. Yeah, it is. It's a hard one to just get your head round. Never mind, like, the rules themselves. Some of the concepts in it are really strange and unique to Anacron, aren't they? But great once you've got it. So, let's have a look then. So I'm the first player, always in solo. I start off with 6 books, 4 cards in my hand, an objective card. We're basically cowherders. We're not cowboys, are we? Because cowboys are a type of person we recruit. We are basically gonna wind down the Great Western Trail to Kansas City here, and then we are going to offload cattle to a city. Hopefully get some points, get some prestige, get some new cattle, get some money, get some extractions, build some buildings that will get us better things as we go on, and it'll all be grand, won't it? Oh, hi Peter. Oh, thank you for joining up. I can't see, my feed isn't working properly to tell me he joined up, but I'm glad that I caught the announcement as it was still up on the screen. Thank you so much. I'll send you a message afterwards. Right, I think, yeah, I think cats pretty much. Yeah, it would be tough, wouldn't it, to see who wins. I think as soon as you open a drawer that might contain a treat, though, he'll be up. I might win the shootout. Yeah, we'll have Patreon bot shootouts for this. So yes, on my turn, if you look at my player board here, oh, another new thing for the new edition, these are dual layer player boards. They are something that happens generally, not picking on Great Western Trail for it. They get a bit warped, so it will spin a bit because it's a little bit bendy. But yeah, it's no big deal. They're dual layer player boards now to house all the tokens and things that are going in there. If you're playing with fewer than 4 players, you need a player count board on there that's going to adjust the costs of some of the things you'll encounter and the number of steps you'll get when you upgrade your board, which means these ones aren't going to be in divots, but you've got to compromise somewhere. So yes, I can move up to 3 steps on the board. On the board, we all start down here. We're just about on, aren't we? And the spaces are things that are there. So buildings, essentially. We have public buildings at the start of the game. We have some outlaws. We have some hazards that have come out at random. And so I can move 3, basically. You want to stop off and do a lot of the things, but as with a lot of Alexander's games, you have to judge how much can you wait around trying to do all of these nice things when really you need to be doing the best you can and zooming down to Kansas City and delivering. But do it too fast and you'll probably miss out on points from buildings and all of that stuff. How do you balance it? So yeah, I have, for your first game, it recommends a few things. So like put the buildings in the correct order and stuff and start with all the A sides of your building tiles. This is, a return after a while, probably since I did that expansion video. But yeah, I've gone for just, let's jumble up all the public buildings. Let's randomize the A and B sides of the building tiles, and just go for it. How hard could it be? And we're playing on the medium difficulty of the bot as well. Yeah, I was thinking that like they could make holes in it, but one of the steps that gets upgraded, it's plus 2 steps at higher player counts, and it's just plus 1 in 2 players. So it's a little bit like what would they do to fix that up? Yes, they Alexander popped into the Boonlake playthrough, and someone asked about the Rails to the North expansion, and he says it's coming. Don't know when, but yeah, they're going to do a new edition of that as well, because it was a fantastic expansion. Yes, I can start anywhere as well. Good point. Like the bot has to start here, but I can choose a place where I want to start. So what? I've got a basic hand of cattle from the deck that starts out the same as everyone else. The bot doesn't have those things. I have an objective card, have certain cattle, and a building to win some points towards the end. It's just a starting objective. I have an exchange token, so that means like I can discard 2 cards, right, and draw 2 more up, because there's a lot of situations where you want particular cows in your herd, in your hand. So what should we do on the board? So I can... A lot of the buildings, like you can do auxiliary actions. You don't have to do the things that are on here, but your auxiliary actions are quite weak to begin the game with. You'll unlock more and better ones as we go on. But I could get rid of an outlaw token here. It is starting here right at the start, but I could get rid of an outlaw token and get some money for that. It's only 4. Potentially, if the outlaws really build up, it's 10, because they are in the way, right? You've got to go past them to get to the buildings along this particular track. If they're built here later on. So I can get rid of some outlaws and get some money. I can move my train along, which is good. You can upgrade stations by moving your train along. You'll incur costs delivering to the later cities if you haven't moved your train very much. So it's an incentive to do it there. Double auxiliary actions I'm not too excited about. And there's a lot to do with your hand. So it's discard particular kinds of cows. If we look at ones that aren't from my particular deck, so we don't see the order my cards are in. There we go. It's a Piney Woods cow. So this building here wants you to discard a Piney Woods cow to get 2 coins. I haven't got one, unfortunately, in my hand. I've got pretty much... I've only got a couple of types in my hand, actually. I've got a Criollo and a Santa Gertrudis. So I wouldn't get the use of that. I could buy cattle by going to that space on the board, but at the moment I don't have any cowboys really, so it's better when you've got more cowboys. You get more bang for your buck if you can go there with some cowboys in your herd. Okay, what is going on with the trilogy of Great Western Trail games? Like they're different, from the look and stuff, but yeah, I presume they're different games as well, right? Like the actual content-wise. Hey, Turbo. Thanks for joining me. Have you played it solo and gotten worse every time? I think I'll be joining you. Yeah, I think the change to Outlaws is a lot better as well. Like, yeah, it's yeah, and it makes more sense that you are collecting the things now as well. It's a much better thing rather than just have like the Native Americans kind of abstracted to just a token that you collect. It's much better for this, because I did when I was reading all the things earlier. There's definitely a point to be made for, like, now they're not in the game at all, but it would be a different game if it wouldn't just be a second edition, would it? If you were to make the Native Americans a bigger kind of functional mechanical part of the game, it would be a different game altogether. It's much better the way it's handled with the outlaw tokens. I agree. Argentina and horses, and then New Zealand and sheep. Oh, New Zealand's top of my list. No offense, Argentina. I'm sure it's going to be great. Ranching horses there too, but herding sheep in New Zealand sounds great. Right, let's make a decision. There's so many more locations though that we just need to make a decision and go for it. So I'm tempted to just get some more money early on and build some things. Give up some matching cattle, get 4 coins, remove a hazard by paying 7. I'm not too bothered about removing a hazard just yet. Get get rid of a white cow. I don't have one at the moment, but I could hire people as well, because you get to do all of these things, right? Don't you? If you can. Like, I could hire people at their cost, and then I could hire someone else at a 2 discount. It is quite expensive hiring people at the moment. I'd only be able to hire one person, because I start with 6 money. And then to do a building, you get a discount based on the number of builder workers you've got on your player board. And the buildings. Oh, you can see all my buildings. Here they all are. There's just a mixture of A and B sides, and they've got a ton of effects too. It's hopefully going to be kind of limited to the money I have, rather than going through every individual building right now. Move my train for every worker that I've got there too. I'm a little bit limited right now, aren't I? But it'll get easier as we go along. We'll get more things. I think my chat keeps jumping right to the top every single time. Oh yeah, that's hey Jose, that's worth mentioning as well. There is a whole extra variant in here as well of the Simmental cows that get progressively worth more as the game goes on. I haven't played with that yet. That is another new thing that is in this. Yeah, it's, as a Eurogamer, my favourite would be sheep. If it could be sheep in the Mediterranean, then that would surely be the favourite, right? But yeah, so we start off right, like they're all one thing, right? You've got one of all of the types, and you'll build up more later. And the bot, by the way, we'll get to his turn, but he starts off with, drawn at random from the bag, he starts off with an extra engineer, and that's going to be his specialty for this game, which is going to make it's going to make a difference to some decisions that he makes. So early on, it wouldn't help me get any different cows to go to the cattle market later. I could discard a pair of cows, couldn't I, and get 4 money. I just couldn't really get rid of a hazard for 7 money. They're worth points for getting rid of those hazards. I would maybe just want to... like, hiring people would be all of my money, and then I could discard a pair of cows to get 4 money back. But then I'm going down the... I don't have to go down that road. I could go this way, get some certificates. There's a lot of choice early on. I think I'd like some more money, though. I think I'm just going to start off quite early on the road. So, step 1. I finally made it. Phase A is move up to 3 spaces. Your first turn, go anywhere you want. But there we go. And then you can use the actions of the location you've gone to, or you can do an auxiliary action instead. That's if you've gone to a public building or your building. If you go to someone else's building, you've only got the choice of doing an auxiliary action. You can't do their main actions. So, the auxiliary actions, by the way, at the start of the game, we've just got these. So, get a money, discard a card, and draw a card. That's all you've got to choose from at the start. So I think we'll do the thing that's on there. So I could pay and move my train forward, which is always tempting. But I would quite like to build up some money and remove an outlaw. And I feel like I'm changing my mind already. Now that I've said it. Just thinking of how many steps I could still get rid of the pair of cows, just not hire anyone this turn. Maybe use my exchange token. Yeah, it's a cool idea that there's a load of extra stuff. Hey, Evil Weevil. It's a great game. So, I still get to perform an auxiliary action. Just if I do pay to move my train forward, I'm not going to be able to afford to hire anybody. Whereas if I get the outlaw, I could maybe hire 2 people. Yeah, let's remove the outlaw. So I get 4 coins, because that's what was above him. So I'm on 10 now. And that just goes out of the game, right? So I've done the actions of the place that I went to. I haven't missed anything out. We're not in Kansas City, so we don't need a load of things doing. And I draw back up to my hand limit, which is 4 at the moment. It's a thing you can upgrade, like a load of things in the game. I could, to try and get a white cow. I am going to go to the place next time that wants me to have a white cow. I should say, like, it's a little bit early to be discarding just in the hopes of that. You kind of want as many different cows as possible when you get to Kansas City. But we're not there just yet. I think it's time to see what Sam's going to do. Our bot. So, Sam is a player. Sam doesn't have a normal player board, has a special one. And he's got buildings just like me, uses all the B-sides. Starts with a random objective, we don't know what it is. I believe he always fulfills his objectives at the end of the game and gets points for cattle and stuff, but he doesn't have a deck of cattle, he doesn't deal with money and things like that. He's got a special solo deck, and the difficulty changes based on the cards that are in it, and you can add some things to make it harder. I've just gone with the normal difficulty, so this is just the deck as it comes. So we draw the top card of his deck, and it's going to tell us exactly what he's going to do. So some things might be conditional based on his movement. This one is just telling us he moves 1 space. He follows the same rules for everyone else. He takes shorter routes. He will pay you if he goes over hands and stuff that cause him to pay fees. When you pay fees to him, they just go to the bank because he doesn't care about money. But yeah, he is going to move 1 space then. So he always starts here. And for your trains, they don't get in the way of each other, but you can't stop on the same spaces. But your cowboys can, right? And he's going to then hire a worker, which is going to get in the way of my plans, unfortunately. So yes, this is going to tell us that he is going to hire the cheapest worker in the job market. In case of a tie, he buys the one corresponding to his specialization, which is going to be engineers. And if we're still tied, then he just hires the cheapest one in the row. So, in the job market, you can't hire from the row where the token is here. So you can only hire from the top one. You've just got a bit of an idea of what's coming up. So, there is an engineer here. Sam is going to hire that engineer as part of his turn and take it on his player board. And there we go, he's got a bit better at doing that for his future actions. But for now, that's all he's going to do. There are obviously more complicated things when he gets to building and things like that, and gaining new cattle, going to Kansas City. But for this purpose, that's all he did on his turn. That's all card number 1 has. Yeah, they're a nice little touch. You can't see the hats as much from above, I suppose, but they are little cowboy meeples, and they've got kind of little divots on the top of their head to the same shape as the dip in the hats to make them all fit snug and nice. So there we go. There is the bot's turn done already. So we can move 3 spaces. We've now got to think about it, and I feel like hiring cattle, it's a bit early. It's nice, but it's expensive. And with just 1 cowboy, all I would be able to do would be, I have to zoom right out for this one. I can hire a shorthorn for 12 money with 1 cowboy. Or I could hire one of these 3s, any colour I like, for 6 money. I feel like that's a bit expensive. But my big hire 2 people turn has now been disrupted by Sam. I can still hire a cowboy, but I wanted to hire both and stop him hiring anything. But we can't do that. Oh, I could have done auxiliary actions as well, couldn't I? I can do a single or a double auxiliary action at the building that I went to. So I'll just get a money. I'll do that auxiliary action. So I've got 11. Not quite good enough to get the fantastically good place. Right. So yeah, I haven't got the right cow to discard here or here. But I could hire the cowboy then. It's early. I'll stick to my idea. It's not gotten as good, but I'll hire the cowboy. It just means I'm ignoring 2 of the 3 actions here. You keep the outlaw in your play area. Oh, there are objectives and stuff that I'll refer to. Well, he's only slightly off to the side anyway. I'll keep him with me. Yeah, I'll hire that cowboy then. So I'll just do the 2 discount hire then, I suppose. and pay 4 for the cowboy. So I would like to build up some friends. So here is my cowboy. You can get rewards as you hire certain numbers of them, and you'll get points if you've filled these columns with your staff as well. With your friends. And yeah, I went there, I did that. I haven't discarded any cards still, so there's no redrawing to be done. Does the next place I go to care about the cards that I have? Not really. There is a space coming up on the board that wants you to have a green too, which I already have, so I don't think I need to force a discard yet. Maybe I'll go to discard the pair next time. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what Sam's going to do. Sam is going to move 2 spaces, and then he's going to do some things. So moves 2 spaces, 1, and he always just takes the shortest path. So he isn't going to bother going down the hazards, is he? 1, 2. And then he's going to go to the cattle market. So this means he is going to spend $8 to buy as many points as possible. Remember, he doesn't really have a deck of cattle like we do. He just... Oh, it's 2 extra. Oh, I do apologise. So yeah, I'll pay my 2 extra. Oh yeah, it's green, isn't it, when it's giving you money? I do find the money a bit confusing in... I find the money iconography a bit confusing. It's consistent, but yeah. So Sam is buying $8 worth of cattle, and since he doesn't have a deck and stuff, he is just buying points. So with the cowboys that he has, which is just 1, his options are the same as I had. So he can't spend 12. He's going to just spend $6. The Longhorn is worth 2 points. The Black Angus is worth 1 point. So he's going to buy himself a Longhorn. This just goes on top of his starting objective card, and it's just going to be points to have, basically. If after having bought cattle he didn't use all of his cowboys, he will use leftover cowboys to add cattle to the market, which is an option that you have as well when you go to do that. Okay, so I think we're in the north of the board now. So do I want to keep making stop-offs to go to all of these different things? I could earn 4 money here and spend 7 to get rid of a hazard, which is, it's 4 points. It might come up in an objective later. It hasn't come up in an objective I've got just yet, but yeah, it's not to say it won't. Or I could move on a little bit, get a certificate, or I could get an objective card. And move my train forward for every engineer, which would just be 1 space. You know, these are the temporary certificates are nice for getting more money when you go to Kansas City. Yeah, they're all places at the moment where I want to do one of the things, but I'm not really bothered about the other thing. Yeah, I just paid 2 extra because I had a 2 discount at first. So I just took the discount off me rather than paying 2 extra. The second one you want would be 2 extra. For every engineer movie train forward, I've only got 1 engineer. And an auxiliary action is just going to be gain a coin. Maybe I just want to get to Kansas City. Do a little delivery. It would be nice to move my train first. Let's not worry about getting this money then. It's still only 1 step, but I could go to Kansas City next turn. This doesn't get any cards out of my hand, though. Your exchange token, right? Well, it would. Because I can't go straight to Kansas City right now, can I, with 3 steps? No. So that move the train and certificates are nice to have. I could do a building, though, and then have something to work for next time. I can discard a 2, and it might help me get some better cows in my hand for next time. And it would earn me 2 money. And I could do a building and get a discount. I've only got 1 builder, haven't I? It's not going to get me a great big discount. I haven't seen anything about an update pack. Yeah, correct. Mistake straight away in the live streams. I haven't seen anything like that, but it is based on a solo variant called Garth that I believe is fan made on Board Game Geek. So I think you can see it's going to be a little bit different because this has probably been tweaked by Alexander or the developers of the new version, but the gist will be the same. It'd be nice if you could just get, like, you wouldn't even need the board technically, would you? You'd just need the deck of cards, really, would let you play it, because everything else is just standard. I suppose you'd need something to remember the specialty as well, but you could just have all of these as rows on the table, couldn't you? And have your specialty token pointing at them, or just print off a little board to have the tokens on top of. Like, it's not really expensive, is it? So building, what do you reckon about doing a building? Could be nice. I have put myself here, if I'm doing this. Place a building and pay 2 for each craftsman used. So really, the buildings I'd be able to build are here. I've got 1 craftsman, so it would cost me 2 to do a building. So that's discard an objective, right? Discard an objective to move your certificate marker 2 spaces down. Move your train back to gain 3 money. Or discard a green 2 to move your train forward twice, and discard a brown 1 to get 2 money. And it's a point. It doesn't seem like a lot of money. It seems okay. I think I'm going to build that. So yeah, I'm discarding a 2 for 2 money as well. That goes in my discard pile. Getting $2, but then I have to pay $2 because this is using 1 craftsman. And I can put it anywhere. I could have extra costs if I wanted to. I could put it in front of myself now, right? And be able to go to it if I really wanted to. I do have a 2 that I could discard. And a 1. If I want both of those benefits. Yeah, it's quite tempting. I like the idea of it. You can put it in other spaces where there'll be either extra benefits at the side or extra, just extra things that you can do there. So I do quite like that. Oh, did they switch around the colours? Yeah, they have changed. They've changed like all of the art, right? Some of it's only slight, and the graphic design looks very similar. The board seems a little, not brighter, but not dimmer either. Kind of washed out, but not in a negative way. It's not as vibrant as the other one, but it's very similar though. That's nitpicking a little bit. Yeah, what if I just build it ahead? That could be quite nice. You can replace any of your other buildings as well when you've put them there. Yeah, I quite like the idea of that. I feel like I might end up going to too many things. Oh, and draw back up now. I don't have a full hand anymore, so we can draw back up. So purple used to be train guys. Yeah, I used to have and I imagine like if I still had the old edition, it would be fine still. It looked, yeah, I wouldn't upgrade it just for the graphics, really. It's nice. They're both great. So I don't have an objective card to disc. I didn't build that building, so don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm done. I've drawn back up. I have got some different cows now. I might not want to get rid of a green 2. You want as many different cows as possible to go into Kansas City with, but it's not my turn to worry about that. It's Sam's turn. Oh dear, Sam's doing some maths. Okay, so he's going to move the number of building tiles of the player that's moved the most. Right in saying that? The player that's built the most. Up to a maximum of 5, yes. And if no one had placed anything, he would move a step. So I have placed 1 building, so Sam is just going to move a step. And what's he going to do? He is going to get some cattle, or Oh, it depends on what he's got. Is that oh, if his specialty is cowboy, he gets cattle. If his specialty is anything else, he doesn't do anything? Well, that's fair enough, isn't it? He'll prioritize hiring workers of this type and take more actions corresponding to that strategy. Yeah, so he's just not going to do anything, is he? He moved again. He hasn't quite gotten to Kansas City. So there we go. That's okay. That's all sweet. The hats could tempt me. So, that's it for their turn then. It's me. And I think I am going to stop off at my lovely shiny building. And let's, at the risk of not having as many cattle, I'm going to do both of the things. I'm going to discard another Santa Gertrudis to move my train 2 spaces. So the first 2 steps are easy. Just 1, 2. Later on, you have the choice of whether you just want to plow on ahead or you want to go into these stops here. You can pay to upgrade the stations for points, to get more discs off your board and unlock more things, and to get these beautiful tiles that will give you extra actions or permanent certificates and endgame scoring opportunities. And I am also going to discard a Criollo to get myself $2, so I'm back up to 7. And I could, if I've got a not great hand next time, I could always use my exchange token. Like it's still there, isn't it? Right. I think that's it. Ooh, quick with the sneeze button. Oh, we've got a Galloway. I see the new cows coming out. We've got a Galloway. We've got a double Galloway. It's that classic double Galloway situation. And it's time for Sam again, isn't it? I like how snappy the turns are. For Sam, anyway. So he's moving 2 spaces. Shortest ones. 1, 2. And then, for every engineer, he's going to move his train forward a space. Well, he's got 3 engineers. So, 1, 2, 3. He just skips over mine, right? Okay. I think then, well, there's no thinking about it. My next space has to be Kansas City, where you've got to follow some steps, which are kind of laid out here. So I am going to basically determine tiles that are going out on the board now. So I can put more outlaws out, or I can put a hazard out, which, you know, depending on where people have built, might get in their way more. It might give you a thing to get rid of. Putting more outlaws out makes them more valuable to remove. So I think I might get another outlaw out. Sam's train should be on 4. I only did 3 for him, didn't I? He's on space 3, and he should have skipped past mine. You're quite right. Thank you. Yeah, I counted 0, didn't I? So yes, I'll put that outlaw out. And then do I want cowboys or builders? There are some things out there that want you to have buildings. I like the idea of having more choices of cows. I do already have a cowboy. I think I'm going to put a cowboy out. So it goes into the job market. That gets slid down. When that goes off the bottom, the game will end. And another outlaw. Make it more valuable getting rid of them. The bounty will go up. Or just more to hire. And whatever I put out, Sam is about to put out in a minute anyway. Let's put a cowboy out. And then you slide these down in the solo game because Sam always picks the bottom row. So I've done steps 1, 2, 3. And let's fill them up while I'm thinking about it before I forget. The game, oh, another upgrade as well. There were a separate thing that I think, did you buy them from the Board Game Geek store? Some bags for all of the tiles come with the game now. That also, like, you have to take them out of the bag to fit them in the insert that comes with it. It's a bit strange. Another reason that I feel like I'm ditching the insert. It's in the to ditch pile. So put all of those down, and then yeah, I've done all of that stuff. We haven't moved the job token off the end, so we need to work out the value of my cattle. The value of your cattle is the different cows in your hand, so we can ignore the duplicate Galloway. I've got 2, 4, 5 value cattle. This can be boosted now by spending temporary certificates, or if you've got permanent ones, they just add to it. You can choose to do that now to determine your income. So you get that much money, basically. I get $5. So I'm going into the next go around with $12, which could buy me a really nice cow. And then you discard your hand. So that's gone away. So remember, value, it's value 5, isn't it? Yeah, value 5. So now I can take a disc off my player board and put it onto a place where I'm delivering to. The places that I can deliver to are based on the value of the cattle that I just had. And you see these red crosses here. For everywhere further than your train that you deliver to, for every cross that you're going past, you have to spend a coin to, as transport costs for getting those cows that far along. But well, I might not put it in a space where it'll charge me transport. Like, you want it in better spaces, really, so when you link these up, you get bonuses. Like, you get an exchange token once you've got a disc in each of those. It would cost me one. There's one red cross, basically, if I wanted to deliver to St. Louis. You can only take discs off the black-bordered spaces if you deliver into a black-bordered space. I feel like St. Louis is going to be the best one, alright? Even if it costs me money. Because I might just have a terrible luck time next time and have to go in one of these spaces. Yeah, I think I'll pay the one transport cost and take a disc off my player board. So, would I like to unlock more auxiliary actions? And potentially, you can make your auxiliary actions double actions instead of just single ones. So you could get 2 money for an auxiliary action instead of just 1. Like, if you're taking the alternate option from a building tile, you can only have the single, right? You can get the double if you go to a building that says that, hey, have a double. So I might just want to unlock more options. So, pay a money and move your train back to get a certificate. Pay a money to move your train forward. Pay a money, move your train back to remove a card from your deck permanently. Pay a money to move my train forward is tempting. Because it's going to be good as well. Does Sam go in the... Does Sam go to upgrade the places? Oh yeah, his next move will take him where he will go down there and upgrade the space next if he gets there first. I want the auxiliary action that's going to let me pay to move my train forward. Even if it's just a step at a time, a step might be all that I need. So yes, we're delivering to St. Louis. We've paid the costs. We've taken the choice. And we're going for it. Right. So, I feel like I did trains last time I did a playthrough as well. So I've done that, I've paid for my stuff, I've paid the transport costs, and I'm waiting back at the top of the track. And what's Sam up to? So Sam is going to move based on the number of his specialty employee, his specialization. So he's got 3 of those. It doesn't matter because it's going to move into Kansas City anyway. For these options on the board, he puts the bottom things out. So he's going to put a water hazard out. He's going to put another worker out. He's going to put an outlaw out. going against everyone's choices, though. I'm going my own way. It'll be alright. So yes, he doesn't work out money and stuff. He doesn't care about that, and he technically hasn't got a hand of cards. So now he delivers to Bloomington first, and that can be changed. You can make him deliver further along or earlier, depending on what difficulty you'd like to play on. So he delivers to Bloomington. His delivery doesn't result in an objective card. And then we just stock the things up, don't we? So always slide them down the next thing, right? When things are taken away. Yep, slide the other tiles down before refilling them. Just make sure I do it when he gets a tile as well. So there we go, we made it to Kansas City. There's what's potentially coming out. And it's up to me to make something of myself now. So I'm at the he's going to be at the beginning of the track as well, isn't he? For his next turn. So an outlaw is worth 5 money, or I've got a fair bit of money. What if I paid 2 to move my train forward 2? And I could upgrade the station right in front of Sam. I feel like that's a thing to do. I'm going there. I'm going to choose to pay 2. I have got 11 money. Well, now I've got 9. I'm going to choose to pay 2 to move my train forward. So I could just go straight to 5 now and, you know, pay fewer transport costs as my cows get better. But this might hurt me having money for cows, mightn't it? I'm going to come down here. And so when you go here, you can choose to upgrade the station. It costs 2 money, which I have. Still got 7 money. So I can put a disc there as well. So I could unlock a different ability. Or I could have. No, I couldn't have. I was thinking like I could have upgraded it, the auxiliary thing first. Because I'm going to get to do an auxiliary action in a minute. But no, I couldn't. Yeah, pay the 2 to do that. What disc do I want? So I can't do any of these ones. I can have space for another certificate, but it's not that great just yet. I think I don't want to move my train back just yet. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for cycling. So upgrading that station, getting a few points. Well, getting a point at the end. I get 2 temporary certificates now. And I'm going to get 2 points for every building at the end of the game. Which should be alright, won't it? Yeah, the Station Master, the tile itself isn't amazing. But I want to deny him things. And then I get... Oh, I haven't got a hand of cattle. That's going to help, isn't it? It's going to help make your decisions. There we go. So I could have, I could have done that and then paid 2 to move it 2 more spaces forward. That is his specialty. He's going to zoom in front of me anyway, isn't he? So which cards do I want to make sure I want? I want a white for the hiring space, maybe. So I could earn 2 money before doing that. If I'm going to hire cattle, black is fine. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm changing my mind. Take back city. 1 round in. Yeah, I'm going to unlock that, and then I'm going to do that as my double action. I'm going to pay. This is going to hurt my ability to buy cows, isn't it? And I'm going to move my train 2 more spaces forward. Which, he's not going to dip down there now, is he? So he's probably going to skirt past me anyway. But I'm going to go for it. I'm going to take that tile. Oh, you give up the cowboy for that. Oh yeah, you have to put someone in there, don't you? So do I just pay? Yeah, I'm forgetting about replacing the station master with a cowboy of your type. This probably isn't as exciting a thing as I thought, is it? It's probably not as worth it as I'm thinking. Because, yeah, I was thinking of buying cattle. That's why I paid so much for that cowboy. The station master tile itself probably isn't that exciting for that. I think if it was a permanent certificate, I'd be more inclined. 2 temporary certificates is nice. But I don't think I'm going to do it. Yeah, let's just have the upgrade. It's just some points, isn't it? And I've still upgraded the action. Yeah, it'll be okay. I won't worry too much about moving my train as much. Instead of moving the train, I'm going to upgrade my cattle more. Yeah. Change my mind again. I'm going to get 2 money with my thing. Just to put my money back a bit. And then we'll do cattle next time. I think that'll be okay. Right. Bot time. He's just moving the 1 space. Copying off me again. And he is going to remove a hazard. So I imagine he's just going for the one with the most points, right? Given a choice, he chooses the hazard section with the most tiles. They've actually all got 1 hazard tile in them. So then he wants the most points, of course. What if there's a tie then? He'll go for the desert. Why not? It's getting him points either way, isn't it? Yeah, we've always got to do take-backs. It's the hallmark of a solo game. Is the take-back. Or the hallmark of any game. We're very accepting of take-backs. Okay, so it's me again. I don't want to ignore getting cows on 2nd time. So we're going to come down here. We're going to send off a Piney Woods, although it's staying in the deck. Thematically, although maybe we're just going to this house and showing them the cow for a minute. And we'll pick it up again later. We're getting 2 money from that, and now... So I have 2 cowboys. So the costs for getting new cows... Quite expensive. 12, I could get a Hereford, a 5 cow. It's still 12 for a Shorthorn. And buying a Black Angus or Longhorn is now just 3. I could just spend each cowboy individually, and they would be 6 each, but I haven't got the money for that. So I could just get a cheap cow now. A Longhorn is 2 points. And will be better as it comes through my deck later. Yeah, I can't afford the other one. So that's what we're doing, I think. I'm going to just pay $3 for a Longhorn. And since... Yeah, that's both of my cowboys spent, so I haven't got any cowboys to look at new things. Yeah. Yeah, it probably is, like... There's a better thematic explanation rather than the silly ones I'm doing. But I like the idea that we're just walking past this house and showing them that single cow, and they're flipping us a couple of coins. Right. That's everything at that location done. So the cow joining the herd, it's another Criollo. And so it's Sam's turn. What's Sam going to do? So most buildings, I've built 1 thing, so he's going to move 1 space. And that is his specialty. So he's going to move 3 more train spaces. Ouch. Okay, so he just moves to where I am again. And he's going to move... He comes down, doesn't he? So he will take the station master tile, right? And have those points for that. Stop at each station. Unless his movement would let him reach a better station. Would 3 let him move to a better station? No. But he can't go here because I'm there. So tough luck. He's got to skip past it, hasn't he? 1, 2, 3. It means he's going to get to that next one quicker than me, isn't he? Whatever I do. But I do have a choice now. I've still got 6 money. I do not have a white to discard. So it would be all of my money, but I could get a staff member. I could get... Maybe it's worth that stop-off to get an engineer and stop him getting more engineers. That's his specialty. If they're not in the job market, he's not getting them. Kind of my thinking process. Yeah. Maybe that's going to be like... They'll expand the trilogy afterwards. And they'll do some fantasy Great Western Trail. I feel like... Although it's all of my money... I've got this feeling... that stopping him from getting more engineers is going to really help out. Because I don't like that he's got 3. Although he did start the game with 2. There's not a ton I can do about that. Yeah. And then I can discard a 1 to get a temporary certificate. Which is not too bad. I don't want a handful of 1s anyway. I do want a temporary certificate. Draw back up at the end of my thing. So this objective card, the starting one isn't in your hand. It's just off to the side. So if I get a short one, I've done that right. We've got a Galloway. Which would have been great before this turn. But you can't have everything. So, I've still only built 1 building. So he's going to move 1 space. That's not his specialty, so he's not going to do anything. He's just move 1 space. Hey, Heroic Logic. How's it going? So, again, he's shadowing me every step of the way. Okay. So... I could get rid of... I've not got a pair of cows anymore. So that space, let's just forget about that. We wouldn't get the money, and I can't afford to get rid of the hazard. I could do an auxiliary action, but big deal. Temporary certificate or gain an objective card. And a couple of train spaces now. Make use of the engineer that I just bought. And then we have to go up top for that. Same again. Train space for every engineer. And an auxiliary action. Which could be, it's probably going to be money, let's face it. If I want to catch up with him, I could get the money and then go in that station, couldn't I? And then, I don't like the idea of having to give people up, but... Yeah, let's go down here. The objective cards, I think I have got an angle for them, actually. There we go. The objective card's out here. So have a disc in New York for 5 extra points. You can play these out of your hand for their bonus. So getting you some money or cycle 3 cards or do a double auxiliary action. Once they're played, they are out and you get the points at the end of the game if you fulfill them. You lose these points if you don't fulfill them. If they're still just in your deck at the end of the game, you decide whether or not you want to bring them out. Right, so, yeah, I have in New York 3 3s and a building, a 4 and 2 hazards, 3 3s and a station. I don't really know enough about what I'm going to do yet, although having them in there and having their temporary thing might be really helpful, and playing them gets them back out of your deck. Gamble and say I'm going to New York. I don't feel like I want one. I want a temporary certificate. I'm going to chicken out. I'm having a temporary certificate, and I'm going to move my train. It's 2 spaces. The video, yeah, it's at 1440 to try and force YouTube to make it look nicer. Because YouTube's video codecs are naughty, but it doesn't work on PS5 Twitch. That's really strange. It doesn't work on a 4K console. It's it's hard. Everything I change messes up the other platform. Streaming on both things is really difficult. I'll try and make it work. I'll look into what I can do about that. Because at first it just wasn't working on Twitch when I did this the first day. So he moves one for everything in his specialty, which is 3 spaces, which does leap him a bit forward. Ouch. And then Cowboys aren't his specialty, so he's just gonna buy a particular. Hey Shiffy. Not hey Shiffy. Thanks for watching, Shiffy. See you later. Have a good dinner. So yeah, that's not his specialty. Cowboys aren't his specialty, so he is going to take a cattle card with a value of 3 that's worth the most points. So the only thing that's out there is a Black Angus for 1 point. So that's all it's going to be. If there isn't a card there, he won't take it. I think, are the hard mode cards in it? I thought it was just the easies. Yeah, I'm playing on normal, I think. Yeah, if you're playing easy, you remove 13, 14, 15. If you're playing on medium, you don't remove anything. And he delivers to Bloomington first. If you're playing on hard, he also starts with a worker of each type. And his first delivery is the next space along in Peoria. And you can further adjust the difficulty by changing, close to New York for his first thing is harder. Close to Kansas City is easier. So just normal, which, I lost to Gene and Maracaibo on easy enough times. Maybe I should have started on easy, but fingers crossed, eh? Right, so he's raced ahead of me, but I'm gonna persevere with trying to do these train things, and I'll block off this. Oh, I won't block off the space, will I? Because I can move 2 train spaces, but I can choose to just move 1, and then I'll be at the station, also blocking off him being able to do it. I don't have any money, though. Oh, I could do the auxiliary action first, couldn't I? Could do the auxiliary action to get 2 money, because a double auxiliary action would get me the 2. And then spend it to just do that station. Yeah, I feel like that's okay. It's a white disc still. What would I get rid of? Unlock more options? To be able to cycle 2 cards a time would be alright, wouldn't it? But I would like the option of removing cards. I don't know if I'm going to do it straight away. But just so I've got the option. So yeah, I'm going to get another point at the end. Do I want to give up a cowboy or an engineer? The next one's a lot better. But I haven't collected 2 hazards. It's lovely to have that extra thing, an extra income every time. But I'm not going to Kansas City a million times. I haven't picked up any hazards, and there's no saying that I'm going to do it at all. And I'd have to give up a staff member that's cost me a fortune, basically. So I don't think I'm going to do it again. And he's probably going to move on the trains again while I'm here, so he's just going to have to skip past it. So yeah, I think that it's a vicious cycle of Patreon botting. I'm glad that the Patreon bot's still around though. Went away one stream. I have no idea why. Right, so that's my turn, isn't it? I haven't discarded any cards, unfortunately. So am I going to stop here next time? I do have a green I could get rid of for 2 train movements. I do have a grey I could get rid of for 2 money. But it's another stop before Kansas City. It's another thing in the way. It's another turn. But it would get me better cow cards, and then mind you, am I going to get better cow cards? At the moment, my income is 7, which will get me to Bloomington, if that's where I want to go. My 3 might come in, I suppose. My deck would be shuffled, and I might get my 3. It's nice to move those extra couple of train spaces. But I might just go to Kansas City next time. Right, what's Sam doing, though? That might help me make up my mind. He's just moving 1 space. So He's not going to Kansas City, right? Oh no, he can go to Kansas City because he can go this way. That is just one space. So he does get to do his thing as well. He gains an objective card. What does he care about in his objective cards? What does he look for in an objective card? That is furthest from the stack. And he's just going to get the points for it. He's just going to get 4 points for having that. And then we slide them down. Have 2 outlaws and 2 stations. Well, 2 stations I can help you with. And there's 1 outlaw. That seems like a good objective to have right now. Well, I'm going to have to wait until I can get one, but we'll see. So, at the bottom, Skycraft, yeah, the delay's getting in the way, but I agree entirely. I don't think the things I would get, for, as nice as it is, I don't think it's worth a turn to get those 2 train movements and to get the 2 money. Because hopefully, from an engineer and stuff, I can get more later on. So more people in the hiring pool. Now that row is $5. So the cheapest hires available. And I want to hire an engineer and stop the bot having any more engineers. So they go in there, they've done those tiles, we slide them down, and then we fill them back up. There's a 1, that's a 3. Where's the bag for 2s? Oh, so just outlaws coming out on the 3s next time. Just builders coming out on the 2s next time. Don't do that, and they just put their disc in the next bit along, which is Peoria, and they get an objective card, which is going to be another 3 points for them, because they don't care the actual objective, they just get it. And we get a new one out. Yeah, they don't pay for any of that stuff. They just go back to the beginning of the trail, and I think it's time for me to just go straight there as well. I am very tempted. In fact, I'm more than tempted. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put an outlaw out because if I'm going to do that oh, it's outlaws with black hands, which I could get out. Yeah. I assume it's specifically outlaws with black hands. Yeah, let's get them out because then the outlaw spaces here will be full because I'm going to have to put another one out. So if I take this action at this building, I'll get 10 money for it. I'll still get 8 even if if Sam takes one away. We'll choose that. Haven't really got any choice there. It's going to be a builder coming out. Haven't really got any choice here. It's going to be an outlaw coming out. And now the outlaws are full. You know, the road to Kansas City is just full of outlaws at the moment, and more on their way, look. The 2 and a 3. Okay, potential of a cowboy and an engineer coming out in the near future. Just not yet. Then, so I've done my 1, 2, 3. 4, work out my value. So I could potentially skip ahead, you know. So my value, all these are different cows. So 2, 4, 6, 7. I can definitely deliver to Bloomington, no problem. Linking these up would get me an exchange token. Nice. I could, though, deliver to Peoria. Just, does that red cross count when I'm underneath the station? I suppose Peoria is in front of me, technically. For every cross that's located between the nose of your train. So the nose of my train is further along, so that would be okay. I could spend a temporary certificate to get an extra money in income now and deliver to Peoria and, you know, get the link up bonuses later. Maybe it's just going to be worse. I'm just going to have a worse hand later and I can just deliver to Bloomington then. And you can always deliver to a worse place. Oh, thanks for being here, Stasia. Stasia? I'm trying. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I hope I do you proud in the rest of it. It's not going to get me points, though. It only matters where I'm going to go later on. And really, you want to skip up to these bits and get the points. Get to New York and get the 9s. It depends how much I get things out here. Yeah, I don't have to pay to go things there. I would get the exchange token from Bloomington. But if I do go to... If I'll get the objective from going like to Chicago or something later on. Or I could just skip it entirely and get straight to the spaces that do black discs later on. Let's just go to Bloomington, because I might never... Hopefully, if I get better cattle and stuff, maybe I'm never going to come back down here to this section. That's a bit wishful thinking, I think. Yeah, let's just not pay any extra and deliver to Bloomington. It's just a white disc, so what do I want to take off? I could get rid of... If I'm willing to move 2 spaces back on the trains, I could get rid of 2 low-valued cattle. But what about cycling through the deck a bit more? Yeah, pop that out in Bloomington and get myself another exchange token. Although I have the exchange tokens that can do that. Yeah, right. That's done. We need to discard the hand, don't we? And that's going to be 7 money then. I didn't spend... I can spend the temporary certificate, get the extra money now, and still choose to deliver to Bloomington. So I don't have to pay any delivery costs, get back to the beginning of the trail, and it's going to need a shuffle. So we're starting with a Criollo. Not the best of starts. But hey, an auxiliary action could sort that out for me. I'm taking back again. I'm going to do that twice. But I'm so close to a Station Master tile. The Station Master tile that I want. We'll see. Look at all these Criollos in my deck, in my business. What's coming up next? 2 spaces for Sam. And he's going to pop a building down. Okay, let's make sure I get all of his building steps right. So, he places buildings according to the number of builders he has. He just has his starting builder. So, when placing a building on the trail, it should be placed in the next empty, non-risk action building space in front of your herder. So he's putting things in my way. Build the most expensive thing that he can. If there's multiple options, he'll choose buildings that tax me more. So, there we go. He's choosing a building with a green hand that's going to cost me money to move across, which is annoying. It's also the part of Great Western Trail that don't really like multiplayer. But, yeah, so he's going to put that out. He's never going to use it for anything, is he? Okay, puts that out in the way. He can select a building. There are not multiple options because, yeah, there's a hand on there. So he's just putting that building in the way of me, basically. Okay, so yeah, that's all of his turn. He's done his stuff, and now I'm still going to get rid of the outlaw. And yeah, losing 2 money isn't going to be too terrible, is it? Because I'm gaining 10. I'm getting rid of that outlaw. Gaining 10. Here comes Space Marty into the Wild Wild West. And then do an auxiliary action. Am I moving my train back at this point? I can get rid of these 2 cards, though, permanently from the game. We'll recover later. Think about it later and just do it. Yeah, auxiliary action. Gain 2 money. Oh, did you not used to gain 2 money from it? Yeah, I'm going to get rid of those 2 ones. It's removed from my my hand, right? Yeah, card from your hand from the game. But I do have to move back 2 spaces. On my train, I'm miles behind now. Hopefully it'll be okay. Okay, that was everything. Gain the outlaw, do the auxiliary action, draw back up. Galloway. Galloway. Got a triple Galloway here. Okay, for getting rid of, you know, pairs of cards and things. We'll see how we go. Okay. Sam has been speeding along. He's moving 1 more space. And then he is going to move his train 1 for every engineer, which is 3. So he does stop at this station, doesn't he? He will only keep moving if he... Yeah, so it was a reason to stay in there, wasn't it? I'll live with it. I'm just thinking, he does... Yeah, when it stops, he places a disc from the supply, ignoring the upgrade cost, and then remove... Oh, he does not take the tile for himself, he just removes it. He does not score points for it, and he does not have to put a worker there. There we go. Okay. So, if this was a player, you could avoid giving them any money by going down the hazard, because it's 2 money either way. But in the solo game, the money goes to the bot, and it makes absolutely no difference. So, yeah, we'll go either way. I cannot discard for 2 money, but do I want to get cattle? I've still got 2 cowboys. I would have to spend one of those cowboys, you know. Getting more cards out if I wanted cheap, or I got 17 money. I've got $17. I could get myself a shorthorn for my objective, and then that objective is sorted, right? It's worth 3 points anyway, and it's better to have in there. I could spend 12 money. To get the Hereford. Oh, it would be 12 for the shorthorn, wouldn't it, as well? Yeah, you're just using both cowboys to get the Hereford. It's 6 points, and it's a 5 cow in your deck. Or do I just go forward to hiring, and with all of this money, hire 2 people? I can get rid of a Galloway for 2 more money, and I can get rid of the engineer that's waiting in the wings to be hired by Sam. Ooh, I think I'm going to skip cattle this time. I'm not happy about it. Yeah, just this once. We're going to discard a Galloway for $2. I'm definitely going to hire the engineer. So hopefully the train will be back in business in no time. I can discard a 1 to gain 2 money. I am worth a fortune. And so that's 1 higher. The next one's going to be 2 more expensive. Cowboy, maybe. Although my options for buildings open up a lot if I get another builder. Although, you know, getting rid of hazards, discarding... Getting money for every engineer is a nice extra thing that you can do. Like, these start being, you know, it's 3-4 builders to get these out. You know, another building that's... move a train space for every engineer that you've got. It's a nice thing to have. But it's not kind of a essential thing. Am I going into buildings? You can always have a bit of everything. Just I could go cheap. And just get another cowboy for now. And not have to build. Yeah, I'm gonna go cheap. So that's gonna cost me 7 still, because of the +2 for the second hire. But I'm feeling okay about that. Got 3 cowboys, I've got 3 engineers. I think it's gonna be okay. And we can draw back up. Curlo and a Piney Woods. And what's Sam up to? Well, Sam is gonna move 1 space. Well, like it slows down the bot a bit, but the bot will always try and take the shortest path to Kansas City, and I feel like he'll take the path with the lowest costs, and if there's still a tie, he'll take the path where he doesn't have to pay you. So, like, what I was thinking about is, you know, I can put a thing in front of him, but he'll just move this way, like a normal player would. Like, you could put extra stops in the way. So, like, if I put a building there as well, he's got to go an extra space before he gets to Kansas City. That's an advantage. But in other cases, you know, he'll pick the ones that don't have costs and that kind of thing. It'll slow him down a bit, but I don't know if it'll slow him down enough. I don't know if I've ever built that much, but I'm sure, like, if you crack it, it's good. So Sam's moved 1. Yeah, he's moving one along the shortest path now, so always skipping this building. And he gets an outlaw, which, you know, he doesn't care about the money. He just gets the outlaw. I assume there's no bonus rules on that, is there? He just gets the outlaw from the highest occupied numbered space, of course. Yeah, that's his turn. So, for me, I do have a pair of cows. I could get 4 money, and I could get rid of a hazard. Might be good for an objective later. Although maybe I just kind of want to go here, pick up that perfect objective card. And move my train 3 spaces. Now I've got 3 engineers. I feel like that's decent. Yeah, I'm going to go there as well. Get this objective card. Be at 2 stations. Already done. 2 outlaws. Already done. 5 points at the end of the game. So that goes in my discard pile. And then a space on the train for every engineer you've got, which is going to be 1, 2, 3. I just skip past because he's blocking that space there. Well, I don't skip past, but I don't have the option to go down there, basically. Yeah, we need to add more things for the bot to do, right? Yeah, I can't, it's hard to get in the way of him. And I think, like, there's definitely times where it's going to matter. Like, if hazards build up here, and you've got buildings here, same way as it would in a 2-player game. Like, it's easier with 2 players to avoid each other. There's sometimes going to be times where you just have to pay that stuff, and it's annoying. But if you've got no money as well, you don't have to pay that money. So it's not the worst thing. And I'm sure that it can be effective against him. I just don't know if I'm already a bit too late to start doing that with him. So I didn't spend any cards. I don't need to draw anything back up. It's time to see what he's doing. Hey, Monica. How's it going? You only have 20 minutes to sit down. Well, hopefully I can get some good cattle herding in. I'm not cattle rustling, am I? That's bad. Well, depending on your perspective. So, that's it. He hires the person based on his specialty, right? Which he can't do, because someone's had that person. So then, the next most numerous on his board, if not, still a tie. The cheapest suitable worker is selected. So that's just going to be the 6. He's going to hire a cowboy. It's going to make him a bit more effective when it comes to getting cattle for him. Yep. All of that done. He just gets a thing. So, for me, it's tempting. Another 3 spaces on the train that gets me to the place I kind of want to be. That station with the permanent and every 2 certificates is worth points. That's quite tempting. It's expensive, but I've got a load of money. And it's another disc off my board. The auxiliary action. And then the auxiliary action could be moving back and getting rid of some of these 1s and 2s. Oh. Let's go for it. I like the idea of it. I like it. 1, 2, 3. Pay 4 money. And that's going to be some more points as well. What do I want to unlock? It'd help to have the space for more certificates if that's what I'm going to be building up for points at the end. Not massively necessary for any of these at the moment. Let's be able to cycle a few more cards. And then, I don't think I want to give up my cowboy. My engineer is always kind of... Yeah, his priority can switch. So, like... He's not always going to be dominating these trains. And really, like, I've been snatching all these trains away from him. So, like, do I just keep juggling it and then taking away, like, his cowboys when it looks like he's going to switch? Hey, Marty. Just waking up for a sec. Right. I've done that. I've moved up. I think I'm going to give up the engineer I want the cowboy. I want the 3 cowboys more than I want the 3 engineers. So, can I choose engineers, or does it have to be cowboys? It was just cowboys because that's what I had, right? Yeah, it's just a worker. And then I've got a permanent certificate, and I've got some endgame scoring stuff now. Yep. All of that's okay. And then the auxiliary action, I can do a double. And I think that double is going to be the trains again. Although I'm pretty rich right now, aren't I? But yeah, I'm going to move my train back 2 spaces where it came from. I'm going to get rid. There is a space that specifically wants you to get rid of the 1, isn't there? Yeah, the building I built. But there's more in the deck, isn't there? There's still another one in there somewhere. I want to get rid of a Crillo and a Galloway. And hopefully, by getting rid of these, we've made it more likely that we'll just have money in general. We won't need to just discard a cow for 1 or 2 money. Yeah, I'm going to remove 2 again, which gets me 2 money. Okay, you looked at my old playthrough of Clans of Caledonia. Yeah, it's a bit involved, isn't it? But it's alright. I did a solo one more recently as well, but the solo is a bit involved itself as well. But yeah, I think that was back with the prototype. That was for the Kickstarter, right? Way back when. Hey, Genway, how's it going? Right, so what am I doing? I've done the auxiliary action, wind it all back. I've had the money. Yes, draw your cows up. There's the Longhorn. So that is 2 piney woods. That's still 7. And I've got the permanent certificate now. I could go in Peoria if I wanted to. Or I could spend some certificates to go to an even better place. Sam, what are you up to? He's got 3 engineers, so he's going to be moving 3 spaces, which does get him to Kansas City. But before that, engineer is his specialty, so is that going to skip him to the next station? I assume so. If he specializes in engineers, he moves to the next train station that is not blocked by my engine. Oh, brilliant! Because this train station isn't blocked by my engine. He can't take that away from me. He is just going to get to put his disc there, isn't he? So it would be nice if I was still there, but then he'd get to go there instead and block that off for a bit. Jump forward. He's only got to jump forward a little bit, really, because I'm not there anymore. Yeah, I've got my exchange tokens that I could. I mean, I could just get rid of the. What would I get rid of? The 2 piney woods? Because I don't know if there's another 1 in my deck. Like, I don't know if that would come up. Like, there's a different 2, isn't there? Because it would be nice to get to Chicago and get rid of something from a black disc space. And start working on those points. I feel like I could do that later, though. I think I'll stick with those, yeah. I could be using my exchange tokens, though. Right. It's going to be more, though, isn't it? Unless it's another piney woods that I draw. Even if I just draw 1. Yeah, I can choose to just do 1 with these, can't I? I think. Yeah, so this would have to be at the end of my last turn, but hey, it's solo. Take backsies. Even if it's a 1, that's 1 more than I had, because this isn't earning me any money. And there we go. That's the best result, actually, because the 4's in my discard pile. Is it? Did I buy a 4? I think I bought a 4. It's in my draw pile, then. So it's not come out just yet, but. So that's now 3, 5, 7, 9, 10 with the permanent certificate. We can get to Chicago. Right. He's done his train thing, and he's in Kansas City, so he's doing all of the bottom things, putting a hazard out, putting a builder out, and an outlaw, and then stocking these back up. They slide down. These come in, and Oh, did I not buy it? Oh yeah, I did the hiring, didn't I? I had to go to hiring. Well, I didn't have to. I'd scared myself into going to hiring. And then he just puts his disc out in Chicago and gets himself an objective, which is just the furthest one along, which happens to be 4 points. And then new ones are coming out. I think there might be one I haven't shown before. 2 stations and a hazard, 2 stations and 2 hazards for 5 points. Maybe we want to get the 5-point ones to stop him taking him, because he's going to take the next one along whenever he takes objectives. And he just starts back at the beginning. So, I think that's it for me, isn't it? That's it for him. So it's me now. And he just shuffles his cards, right? So, construction is nice, but I think it's got to be just going to Kansas City. I don't really care. I don't really want my cows to be any different right now. Let's get to Kansas City. Okay, so choices. Not much choice here. That's going to be a cowboy. And then engineer or a builder. I'm tempted to just keep the engineers off for now. Although you can't hire from that row anyway, can you? Or you can, because there's going to be another staff member coming in. There's going to be another worker coming in. Yeah, let's just not put the engineer out, and then we don't have to worry about it. But then the cowboy comes in, so we haven't got any choice there, and this gone past this line, which means that the cattle market refreshes. In a 2-player game, there are 7 cards in the cattle market, so there are still 4 here, so we just draw back up. 5, 6, 7. So some more shorthorns available. A Corriente is now available. Some more choices now. Oh, you first draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. Oh yeah, the draw is first, isn't it? So yeah, would I want to keep? Oh, my other one was a Criollo, so yeah, I would discard that one. Yeah, that makes more sense why the iconography's like that now. So that's my choice of tokens handled. Refresh them. There's some hazards. There's definitely an engineer coming in next visit. But he's in the wrong space. He should be there. Wow. Okay. And then 4. My herd value is 5, 7, 9, 10, which is enough to Chicago. I could spend my certificates and go to Toledo. Which, if I'm getting cattle, it's likely, isn't it? Just skip ahead to a 12 space. Hopefully earn those extra certificates as we go along. We might need them for getting to New York at some point. I'm going to gamble. If it's worse at Toledo next time, we'll just have to deal with that. Right. So I can get rid of now a black disc. That's true. It will cost more in transport. Like it's going to cost me 1 right now to get to Chicago. Cost me 3 to get to Toledo. I'm going to get a ton of money. It kind of offsets like the extra money you're getting from going to Toledo, doesn't it? Yeah, let's just go to Chicago then, because that's still 10, isn't it? Well, 9, because I'm going to have to pay 1 delivery. Yeah, it's still a black disc though. Pay me 1 delivery while I'm thinking about it. So I can either move more or have more cards in my hand, which seems better. Obviously, you know, you'll get to Kansas City faster if you can move more spaces. But there aren't that many buildings out. And this is just going to, if they're different cards, it's just going to increase my value, right? I have to pay for that. But it feels like that's what I want to do. I'm going to pay my 5. if only to get a Sheriff Marty back in here. And we're in Chicago. Paid all those costs. We've done all of that stuff. We come back to the beginning of the trail. Discard the hand of cows. And we've now got a hand of 5 to deal with, which hopefully is going to help me out. Looks like chipmunks. A ninja camp, we used to have that. I don't really remember anything involved in it other than a fake impression of the name of the game. Three, 4, 5. There's that sneaky Criollo coming in. Okay, so it's Sam's turn, isn't it? He's going to move 2 spaces, which it doesn't make a difference which path does it. It's two spaces is going to get him onto his building or a hazard, so it doesn't matter. He'd just go onto his building, I imagine, if we're treating him like a player. So his own building has held him up, in a way. And then he is going to get... So based on his cowboys, which is 2 cowboys, he's going to spend up to 8 money to get the most cattle. So with 2 cowboys, it's 12 for a 5. With 2 cowboys, it's 12 for a 4. With 2 cowboys... Oh, he can spend 1 cowboy here, can't he? He can spend 6 money on getting this 3 value. And then he spends his other cowboy on bringing a new card out, which is a Black Angus. I think that's how he would work. I feel that's how he would work. I'm just dipping in and out of this chipmunk talk. Oh, thanks, Steve. I'll put that sneaky card back. Kingdom of Death Chipmunk sounds brilliant, though. Yeah, I would be much more into that theme of the game. Although, really, the biggest off-putting thing is the amount of minis I would have to construct and the price of it because of all the minis. Detailed as I'm sure they are. I know it'll never happen, but a standard version would mean I could play it. Right. So I think that's how he handles all of that. For me, again, it's a stop, but 10 money from the Outlaw, and I could get rid of 2 more cards from my hand if I'm willing to move 2 more spaces back. Spend all of that money hiring. Or cattle. Well, I've got 3 cowboys. So I could use 2 of the cowboys on a Hereford for 12 and 1 on a Black Angus for 6. If I don't hire. Boom. Right here. I'm going for the Outlaw. 10 cash. And the auxiliary action is going to be move my train back again to earn 2 money and get rid of 2 more cards. Do I want to get rid of the last card of a type? I think that's the last Criollo. Do I just want to get rid of duplicates? Even though it's only a 1, it's a different card, isn't it? Now, it's going to hurt for, the building that wants you to have pairs, but I'm not really going there, so it doesn't particularly matter to me. I don't want a 1 in my hand anymore. I feel like the duplicates are going to be... It's going to be better to get rid of the duplicates. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. After saying I wasn't going to do it earlier on, or at least making a different decision, I've pretty much gone into thinning my deck down, haven't I? That's pretty much always a good thing in a game with any deck building in it. I was going to say a deck builder, which I know it isn't, but it's got deck building in it. So that's it for me, isn't it? I've drawn back up, and we can see what Sam's up to. Sam is moving just the 1 space, and he is going to move his train 3 spaces forward. 1, 2, 3. Not quite at a station, but a million miles ahead of me. It's going to end up costing me, isn't it, delivering these things? But that's just going to have to be the way it is. Hopefully the cattle values are going to balance that out. For my turn, 1, 2, let's do cattle. We will discard a Piney Woods, because why not? We've got it to get 2 money. And with 3 cowboys, I think I'm just going to do what I said earlier on. I wish I had an angle now that showed the very bottom for the cattle. But yeah, 2 of those Like, I could use all 3 cowboys and got in a shorthorn for 6 money. Like, money-wise, that's probably the best thing to do. But I've got nearly $30. I think I've got $30. So I could just go cheap and get the shorthorn. And then I'd have money to hire. And I could get another cowboy to do this even better next time. Ooh, do I do that now? Just go cheap on the shorthorn. That only cost me 6 money. Or I was going to get a Hereford with 2 cowboys, that's 12. And a Black Angus with 1 cowboy, that's 6. So I'd still have 12 money. I would still be able to hire someone next time. It's more different cattle. They're all points each. Oh yeah, I've got to skip past either a hazard or his building, so yeah, I need to pay 2 to the bank. I've still got enough money for all of that stuff. Yeah, if I stopped to hire, I would be able to hire 2 people, basically. If I only get 1 cow now. Let's get 2. Getting 2. So what's that? 18 money. Still got loads of money. Could still hire 1 person, and I've just earned a load of points. Got better numbers for cattle. It's all good, I think. Sam. Oh, I need to draw up another cow, don't I? It's going to be the objective card, which I should probably play for its ability. Just move 3 and don't pay any costs. It's just an extra movement, right? Just add into the movement you've already got. Move 3 spaces. You're not allowed to use the location where you stop. You're not allowed to move to Kansas City with this action. Because I've already fulfilled the objective. So there's no harm in playing the card. Yeah, I do specifically need a 4 for my starting objective too. Yeah, I'm sure I can get that later. Hopefully. Sam. Yeah, he needs a new card, doesn't he? Sam is moving just the 1 space and getting an objective card, which unfortunately is still the New York one, which has just earned him 5 points. A new one comes out. It's another New York one for 5 points. There's loads of New York ones for 5 points out. Well, there's another 2. We've just had 1. And there's 2 more still out. For me, then, I have... How much money do I have? 4, 5, 10 money. So I could get myself a cowboy. That would be it, though. I would only be able to hire 1. Getting the cowboy would get me a hazard, which is points, and potentially will help me do an objective. Or do I just use the movement from here? What's that? 3 movements? 1, 2, 3. And the movement on my turn gets me to Kansas City. Oh, Mikhail, you're playing Scythe Rise of Fenris. Sounds cool. I only ever played base Scythe, but I hope it's great. I've got my exchange token, though. Just thinking, if I go to Kansas City, I've only got 5 right here. It's probably not worth skipping all of that way, is it? I'm just saying that I could. Just go straight there this turn. By getting this extra movement. I could, what would it be? 5, 6. Spend these and go to Peoria and get 2 objective cards. Get 2 New York ones. Now I think there's other stop-offs that I could do. I'd like a better hand of cards. And I could still get an objective. Can you see the spaces? So I could get rid of a pair of cattle here. Getting the hazard isn't very high on my priority. It is points. It's 4 points for getting that hazard. But I could... Yeah, I probably want to move the train forward a bit since I'm moving it back constantly. And getting an objective... I am in 3 train stations. Getting one more wouldn't be that hard. And getting a hazard feels like it would happen. It feels like I'm going to be able to get a hazard. It's only 3 points, though. Maybe leave that one for him. And I just grab a New York one to stop him getting it. Then there's just going to be a 5 in the way. Yeah, let's... This is my turn, isn't it? Yeah. Let's get an objective card and try and make sure I get to New York. And then move... I've got 2 engineers now. So I moved back to where I was before the last time I got rid of a load of people. So... I didn't get rid of any cattle, though. And I didn't use my bonus to move a load of extra spaces. I could just use it next time to get to Kansas City. But then I haven't got the cards. Maybe I want to stop off again and move trains one more time. And we'll just skip to Kansas City next time when my deck is even better. Yeah, we'll maybe use the auxiliary action as discards next time to get a good hand. Okay, buildings. I've done 1 building, so he moves 1 space. Onto where I am. Building is not his specialty, so he does nothing. Okay, then. So... Yeah, maybe... Yeah, let's go to this space. I've got 2 engineers, so 2 spaces on the train, so not terribly behind anymore. And the auxiliary action to go to Kansas City next time. I'm going to discard. I've got an exchange token that could do that, though. I don't want to move back on the trains again. Let's try and get some good cows for Kansas City. I'm going to do the exchange. I've still got a token, though. I could do something different. It's get a token disc in New York. The objective. Because I could just... can I just forfeit the bonus of the thing? It would be nice to have next time to stop paying him the 2 money, but he's not getting anything out of it. Like... Move up to 3 spaces, so move none. So the objective is out, and I have to fulfill it, but I've already fulfilled it. So I will draw 1 more card now. So my new cows aren't going to come into this at all. Yeah, I'll just discard a Santa Gertrudis. And then I have to discard 2 though, don't I? I'll discard the Criollo then. It's just there's only 1 of them. I just don't know what the other one's going to be that I draw to fill up my hand. If I've only got them, that's still 9, 10. I've got certificates to get to Toledo. It'd be okay. And we've got a Galloway. Should have discarded the Galloway. And then I would have been 1 closer. But we couldn't have known that. Right. Sam is moving 1 space. Just going on my space all the time. And hiring an engineer. He can't. So he's going to hire a cowboy. Because there's the most... He's got the most cowboys. He's got 2 cowboys. So he'll hire the cheapest cowboy. His specialty doesn't change when it just ties, does it? It's if he got more cowboys. Am I right in saying that? Specialization, yes, 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 yes. Type of worker he has the most is his specialization. In case of a tied number of workers, the specialization stays the same. If he ever gets more, it changes. Right. Yeah, so he just got another cowboy. So maybe I want to stop him getting them. Right. That's his whole turn. So I can just... I don't really want to stop off at these places. I'm going to go to Kansas City again. Let's make the Outlaws worth 10 again. We've got to put an engineer out. And next... Oh, I don't know. It's a cheap hire. They're already being engineer for 6. I think I'll make a cowboy worth 6. There we go. So the counter moves down. And these tokens move down, and I need to fill them back up. 1, 2, 3. And then my hand of cattle is 2, 4, 7, 9, 10. I've already been to Chicago, though. I could just deliver to Peoria and get 2 objectives. Or I could pay my 2 temporaries and deliver to Toledo, which I think that's the thing to do. It's a black disc, it's 6 points, and we can always deliver to Peoria at any time something goes wrong. Put 2 engineers and you could potentially hire 3 next round. Oh, because of the... 3... Oh, because he's going there and he'd put another one out. And I would get the free hire and be able to move my train more. I like the idea. Let's try and get... Let's try not to let him hire all of those engineers. Because he might play that on his card next, but hey, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to go for it. So yeah, we'll spend my 2 temporary certificates. I do want to move more. But I think I want my hand size to be max. Having a movement of 4 would kind of let me skip from the hiring space straight to Kansas City. But then being at Kansas City will be better if you've got more cattle in your hand that are all different. Yeah, pay 5 for that. Still got loads of money. Going to Toledo, which will get me 12 money. Spent my temporary certificates, but I've got to pay 1 transport costs, so it's just getting me 11. Which isn't too bad, is it? So, board's always going to be twisting. Done that. Discard the hand. And, we'll have... Is that Criollo? So have I got 2? Oh, I've still got 2 Criollos, so I could get rid of 1. If we're going to move back again. Could I potentially... With 4 movement, you could have gone straight to hiring people. Take backs. So I earned 3 money there. I think I'm just going to make my first turn hiring people. Ignore the outlaw and everything this time, because I've got so many anyway. Two, 3, 4, 5. And there's an objective we can get out and have an auxiliary action from that, which could be... I would like to unlock, actually, the moving the train forward. It would be nice to do that and alternate between them so I'm not losing too much ground. So that's that. That's Kansas City done. What's Sam up to? We're in 2 spaces, which will take him to Kansas City. And first he's going to do a building. Let me get his building guide back up. He's just putting it in front of me, basically, isn't he? He's putting it in the next empty, non-risk action building space in front of your herder. So this will be okay. He's not going to get in my way. He's only got one builder, so he can still only build this. He can't put one with a hand actually in my way, so it doesn't matter. It's just another stop, isn't it? So he pops that there. Yeah. He's got no choices because he's only got one builder. So he can't build anything more complicated. Okay. But then he's at Kansas City. So putting more staff out, slide them down, get some new ones. We've got Outlaw. Engineering. Doesn't do that. Puts his disc out in Toledo, and that's going to get him 6 points at the end. And he comes back. Right, for me then, I think I'm just going to skip straight to hiring before he gets a chance. Stop his specialty change. No, actually, he'd hire cowboys, wouldn't he? And his specialty would change still. But it's a way of getting a load of workers, isn't it? We could even get a cowboy instead. So I can discard a Galloway for 2 money. Why not? So that gives me loads. And then I'm going to hire... They're the cheapest anyway as well. So I'm going to hire these. It's 12 plus another 2. It cost me 14. Which is fine. And then coming over to the player board, I can discard a 1 for $2. Hire someone at a 2 discount. I have got another 1, so I could get 2 temporary certificates from getting another engineer, and then just whiz my train forward. So this one would normally cost 8, so it would cost me 6. I've still got loads of money. And then coming here, I can get rid of my other low-valued cow. Get 2 temporary certificates for it. And there we go. Massive, massive jump. And I might as well play this. I'm not getting any auxiliary actions here. Since I'm about to move my train forward like 5 spaces, I could afford to move it back a couple and get rid of a card. It would be a Piney Woods, though, wouldn't it? I would only be able to get rid of 1 from my hand, wouldn't I? Because I've discarded all these cards. So I might want to save that auxiliary action for another time. I don't want to save the card. I think I'll just pay to move my train forward an extra step. And maybe just skip the station that's coming next. Yeah. I'll just have a single auxiliary action, pay to move the train 1 step. And that'll be okay. I think. Oh, the camera's gone all grainy. The camera's gone all dark for everyone. What's changed? Hang on. I'll be back in a sec. Hello? Is that any better? It looks a bit grainy to me. Oh well, we'll get these things sorted out at another time. Right. If I had more cards in my hand, I would definitely be getting rid of them. What was I doing? I paid to move forward 1, didn't I? But I probably didn't need to do that. I'm moving forward so many with my next movement. I don't think I even need to do that. I'm just doing 2 money. This video the same as before. I'm not sure why it looks so good. Maybe it's just when I'm zoomed in this much. Yeah, it's not doing it as much on the full mode, is it? I can just make myself disappear just like that. Right. So that was all a load of stuff from my turn, wasn't it? Need to fill my hand up with cards again. Hopefully, eventually, the cows that I bought then are in these last cards. Which we've got exchange tokens, we'll get to them. Sam is going to move 3 spaces. Oh, I needed to pay 2 money, didn't I, for a hazard I went over. Move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. And oh, so his specialty is not cowboys, so he's going to just hire a 3 value cow, and if he can't, what was the if he can't bit? If he can't, he doesn't get any card. There are no value 3 cows out here. It's the other icon where he adds cows. If he did that action, he would add cows to the market. But he didn't. Okay. He just doesn't take a cattle card, it says in the bit for this action. So what do I want to do now? Oh, skipping to Kansas City is nice, but I've got all of these engineers now. So I think an objective card is nice. You know, if we're going to... You can only fulfill 1 New York one, right? I can't just get all of these New York things. Getting a temperature certificate is always decent, but an extra auxiliary action. We could move the train back first, and then move it forward, right? Yeah, you can do these in the order that you choose, because I'm getting to move so many spaces forward, but a point for every employee. I've got 6 right now. Well, at that station, how many spaces ahead is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the right number of spaces ahead. It will be a black disc taken off. It's another permanent certificate. And if I start getting some green outlaws, can I choose to take worse outlaws? I've just decided to take the most expensive ones because you just want money. But it's up to you, I think. You have to put them in the next one up, right? You need a disc in New York for each objective. That makes sense. It will be greedy otherwise. Like, I could get rid of a couple of cards. Just getting 2 money right now is nice, but I'm going to go for... So I've got 5 engineers. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Duck in here. It is 6 money, but I've got that. For 3 points. Oh, it means that if I want a black disc taken off, it's going to have to be this one, because I haven't got 5 money. That's not too bad. I can move more spaces, and I've got 3 points at the end. So when I make my delivery, I'll have made the money. So I'll be able to pay the 5 to take that one off. Fine. We'll go there. But this does mean a staff member to be lost. Should it be a cowboy? Oh, you have 8 employees. It counts the starting ones. Ooh. You know what? That does change my mind then. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I was. First up... Oh, I've spent 6 money, haven't I? I'm going to be spending 4. First up, I'm going to move back 2 spaces. Earn 2 money by doing the auxiliary action of the space. And get rid of 2 cards. Get rid of the duplicate Santa. Sorry, Santa. And... we don't really discard the green, do we? I've definitely got another Galloway. Yeah, I've definitely got another Galloway. We'll get rid of a Galloway. Okay. 2 gone with my auxiliary action. And then with my main action, I'm going to move forward the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't have to move the full amount. And we'll go here instead. So I've paid for the space. We can take a white disc off instead, which could be that we've got so many engineers that this one's probably not that exciting anymore. More space for temporary certificates is decent. And maybe you'd want to earn them once you've got space for them. We'll just do that one. I'm not particularly bothered about that. It's a couple of points, though. What do we give up, though? Having this many engineers is great if I continue to keep moving them back all the time to get rid of staff. Having 3 cowboys does make getting the shorthorn very cheap. And I do want a shorthorn. It's just, I could pay the 12, couldn't I, for just having 1 cowboy, and then if I've got enough money, I could get something else. There's plenty of cowboys to hire. If I did if I did get rid of an engineer though and hire another one, I would get a free. Oh no, it's not the free hire. Never mind. Yeah, we're getting rid of cowboy. So we'll get that tile, which is 2 money and a point for every worker. Then that's that, isn't it? I've just done them in a different order. Then Sam is going to... I've built 1 thing. Oh no, he's built the most now. He's including him, I assume. So he moves 2 spaces. So catches up to me. And engineers is his best thing, so he's moving 3 spaces on the engineer track. Has to skip this station because I'm in it. Okay. And then for me... Oh, I need to draw my hand back up. Which, yeah, I should have gotten rid of a Piney Woods, as it turns out. But it'll still be okay. That's still 5, 7, 9, 12, 13. Spend something to get the 14 for Pittsburgh. Oh, Pittsburgh isn't a black disc, unfortunately. But it'll still be okay. Right. Yeah, we'll just go to Kansas City. So an outlaw would just be discarded. And a hazard's going out anyway. It doesn't really matter, does it? Because maybe I could get rid of that outlaw first. I don't really mind the engineer or cowboy. There are cowboys out there. And it is what he'll take next time. I wish he would just build us. That was putting out. It's what he's going to put out when he goes in a turn or 2 anyway, isn't it? It doesn't really matter that much. He's going to do the other things, basically. These are going to come out later. 1, 2, 3. And my cattle value. So what was that? 5, 7, 9, 12, 13. Is that right? Did I work it out wrong first? 3, 5, 7, 12, 13. Yeah, I worked it out wrong. Just 1 certificate. And I can deliver to Pittsburgh, which I don't have to pay for. Knows if the train is past that cross. The white disc to get rid of. I suppose moving the train more might really help. Yeah. We'll go there, and that's going to be 8 more points for the end of the game. And that is 14 income coming in. So I've basically got 21 bucks right now. Come back to the beginning. And Sam is just moving the 1 space, which is not going to get him quite to Kansas City. And he's getting rid of the best outlaw, which is fine by me. Because he's putting another one out in a minute. And am I even going to stop there? I've got 21 money. You know, I've only got 2 cowboys now. But... Oh, I need to discard my hand of cattle. And draw a new one, of course. I think it's worth stopping off and getting the shorthorn, isn't it? It'll cost me 12. But... Or I could get another Hereford. for 12 money. It's another 7 points. Oh, wait, they're 6 and 7 points. I should have taken the one that was worth 1 more point. Uh-oh. Duplicates. In terms of objectives, if I was getting that one that wants you to have pairs of outlaws, maybe I want to stop off and get the green outlaws. But I think it's going to be money. I think it's going to be cattle, isn't it? Because that's going to be 4 points to get a shorthorn. It's a different type of cattle for getting your numbers up. And yeah, the other things I would say. I'm just going to go 1, 2, yeah, just there. Have to give up 2 money. So now it's a 19. But I'm going to buy the shorthorn. So that's going to be another 12. So give up 14 money. I can actually discard the piney woods and get 2 back. So I can still hire someone. Get that shorthorn. What are the points values? 4s and 3s. Let's get a 4-pointer. And that goes in the discard pile. Nothing else to happen there. I could hire the engineer and discard the 1. And that's just the turn. Draw back up. There's a Galloway. Sam is, I assume, going to Kansas City. Yeah, because the shortest thing will get him there. And he's getting a hazard. So the hazard from the place with the most. And he surely takes the one that's worth the most points, right? Yeah. So he's getting a 4-pointer from the desert. And in Kansas City, he's putting out an outlaw, an engineer. Oh, he's putting out some cheap staff. I don't think I can hire 2, actually. But I'll be able to hire 1 for a bit cheaper than I was gonna. So I'll slide down. And then we've got a 3, a 1, and a 2. And there's probably only 2 more trips to Kansas City in it. Doesn't work that out, but he puts his disc in Pittsburgh. And then comes back to the start. As for me, do I want to hire even? They're all worth points to me, aren't they? But so I move 4. So is that 1, 2, 3, 4? Can't get me to Kansas City. But I probably want to move my train anyway, don't I? I probably don't want to just get to the end. Hiring. Cheapest hire for 2 people is 14 money, which I haven't got. I could still get 1, though. But does it matter? I think just get somewhere. I'm not sure if I've got another Santa Gertrude or if I've gotten rid of all of the extras now. I have gotten rid of 2 of them, so I think that's the only one left. Just thinking if I get rid of cards with the auxiliary action here. I've got money to do an auxiliary action, haven't I? We just give up the Cowboys. Go here. Move the train another 5 steps. Where's this going to take me? 1, 2. I could just stop off here. I haven't... It's nice to have the permanent certificate, but that's not great, is it? 4, 5. Let's just skip over him. And I can only move 2 more spaces with the auxiliary action. Because I could potentially go to Kansas City both times. And stop him altogether. He'd still get to go, I think, but... maybe he'll still be dawdling. Especially if I upgrade my movements. I'll probably be able to do it. So I think let's use the exchange token now. Draw 2 cards up. Oh yeah, I haven't done my auxiliary action though. Do I just want to... I can afford to move my train back a space. It's just, I don't know what I want to get rid of here. I can use the exchange token first, can't I, and see what I've got coming up. It's the Piney Woods and the Longhorn. It's got to discard 2. Well, we could just discard them and not get rid of things from my hand. The 5's still in there for next time. The 4 will be coming up next go round. And the auxiliary action could just be moving 2 spaces on the train to try and get to just, you know, the best station possible with the next big movement. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Pay 2 to move the train another couple of steps. Doesn't get me to another station just yet, but it will. And then Sam is moving 2 spaces because he's built 2 things. I think that's the quickest path. Yeah, because then he doesn't have to go over that space. His specialty is not cowboys, so he is doing nothing. I am going to Kansas City. Oh, let's put a hazard out! There we go. He will choose hazard, right? Because it's the shortest distance. Or it was. In case of a tie, he'll take the path with the lowest cost. It wasn't a tie, though. So there we go. That's definitely the thing to do. Then cowboy or engineer. Cowboy? I don't really know. And then outlaw or cowboy. Let's get cowboy out. Let's try and force the end. Because the disc now is on the last space. When it moves off, the game end will trigger. I think we get 1 more turn, right? The person who triggers it doesn't get another turn. So, stock the tiles back up. Then my cattle value is 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 13. Oh. I don't know why I thought I could get loads better. Maybe I should have done the exchange then to get the 5 in instead of a 2. You know, instead of moving further, but I didn't. So at 14 again. So in that case, the objective cards that are out are a bit rubbish. Just thinking I could get 2 objectives by going to, like, Peoria. Or maybe skipping forward was a bad idea. I, for some reason, felt like I had a load more. I had enough points to do something. So what's Philadelphia? 16. I'm going to do take backs. Why not? I could have done that. I haven't seen any new information that changes my mind. If I'd done exchange with that extra action, this is the 5, isn't it? No matter what, we know it's the 5. There's no chance involved. There's 1 card in your deck. Then you can discard that and whatever 2 you like. In fact, don't even need 2s in the deck anymore, because then I think we can still do it. 8, 10, 12, 13. No, I still can't do it. So it's take back and a waste of time. I need to get this and bump up the temporary certificates. 5, 7, 10, 15. Oh no, I've counted up wrong, haven't I? 8, 10, 12, 15, 16. I have done it, yes. It was worth take back. So, moving more spaces. Is that what we need? If I can move 5 spaces next time. Now I've put this hazard in the way, though. I'm not going to be able to just zoom through the thing. Before that hazard was there, with 5 movement, I could have gone 1, 2... 1, 2, 3... Oh, I still can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Before that extra hazard was there, 5 would have gotten me to this. Move your train loads, which I was hoping to do. I can still get cattle. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would get me to Kansas City. But you might need the extra card to even be able to reach New York. Yeah. Extra card. Pay 5. So my value was 16. I did not have to pay any extra costs for that because my train is miles in front. So I've got some decent cash. Discard all them cards. And yeah, this turn showed why you need hand size. I think we're okay, aren't we? Oh, the cattle market should have expanded. Maybe last time when the bot went to market. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't think any of those are different. Although, even though they're not different, it's worth buying a 5 if you can for the 7 points. Right. So that's it for me. I've got in my own way a bit, but it'll be okay. Right. He's moving number of workers of his specialty. He hasn't hired for ages, has he? He's got 3. So he's moving 3 spaces, but he's been held up a bit by me. His specialty is not builder, so he will build a cost 1 building, is that? You can't. Oh, he can replace though, can't he? He can build a 2 instead, so he can basically cost me some more money, upgrade his building that doesn't have any hands on it to one that has hands on it. Because he's got 1 builder, so the upgrade cost is 1. Yep. That's his turn. So for me, both of them cost me 4 money to move along now, which I do have. I've got loads of money. So cattle's the thing to get, isn't it? Cattle, movie train, Kansas City, which I can do as long as he doesn't get to Kansas City next turn, which I don't think he will. Even if he ends the game, I get 1 more turn, which I could use to go to Kansas City. So I think, yeah, I've got to pay 4 to go over these hazards. Principle, even though the game effects are the same, on principle, I'll go over the hazards rather than his buildings. Oh, I should see the cattle that I have in my hand. I do have a piney wood, so I can discard that for 2 money. But it could get to the point where, with an auxiliary action, I could just be drawing my deck. I don't have that much money. And you want to have some money for doing the station, don't forget. Even if you move in 5 spaces, you still want a load of money for that. I've got 16 money. I've got 2 people. So spending 12, I can get 7 money with a Hereford. I would still have 4. Bye, Monica. See you soon. Oh yeah, I've just thrown it into like a discard pile. But yeah, he can't build the 1 again. Just thrown it into the pile of mess, the pile of ejected things. Right. So I've got 16. I would spend 12 on the cow, so I'd still have 4. And if I went here next time, I could get 2 from the auxiliary action. So I would have 6 money. But it would be 7. Or it would be 8 to get that station worth 5 points. So I wouldn't be able to do that. But the cow is more points than that train. Maybe you just don't stop off at the train space. Or you stop off at both of them. So you can get to a cheaper train and maybe earn some money on the way down. Or you just use auxiliary actions to get temporary certificates, which are worth points. stations. Yeah, I don't know if like getting one more. It depends how many times I'm going to stop off. If I'm just going to stop off one more time, getting the extra one train movement isn't going to get me there either. But the engineer, what's an engineer? 6. And I would be able to afford the station if I could get there. It's the same points though, isn't it? Is the engineer... You have to have a column, right, for it to be worth 4 points on your player board. You have to have the full column, not just a worker. So every worker to me is worth a point. And then the station is worth 6 points if I get that far along. If I could have gotten to both train spaces like I was hoping, that would have been the ideal thing. Shush, I'm not going to do anything with that Hereford, and it might get in the way of me having a great hand for the end. If I had a little bit more money, like I could have stopped off for the Outlaws, of course, but there's not many turns left. The engineer... Oh, he is worth 4 points. Just everyone in that column's worth 4 points. That will be more points, then. Yeah, that does change things. So we discard the Galloway instead of the Piney Woods. I want to get rid of a Piney Woods and a Criollo, to be honest. Could always do that with exchanges, if needs be. And then hiring. I can discard the 1 this way, though. So the cheapest one is 6. I could still hire another. But the engineer... Oh, and this is getting me out with 4 money, so... Yeah. I don't know that hiring another... It's just another point, isn't it? So, discard a 1 for 4 money. Easily done. And then... Hiring someone else is just going to be 1 point, isn't it? At the moment I've got 12, 13, 14 money. There's no bonus to just hire 1 person, unfortunately. There's no one that needs discarding to fill a station. I don't... The cowboy would be... The cheapest cowboy is 7. I would still have 7 money to get in that station. So what's the exchange rate on money at the end? A point per 5. So it's a bit worse, isn't it? Paying 7 for a point. I'm probably not going to get to hire cattle again. Well, maybe I will. I think that's really wishful thinking. To think that I'm going to get to Kansas City first, but I'll end the game and then he'll go to Kansas City and that'll be it. So no, there's no more hiring cattle going on. A point per $5 is better. I won't hire a second one. Just draw back up. There's the Hereford. There's the Santa Gertrudis. We just need to get rid of one of these Piney Woods. Which I'm sure can be done at some point. Sam is going to move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. He's getting to Kansas City next time. He's only 1 space away. And then his specialty is engineers, so he moves to the next station that I'm not at, which is this one. Pops his disc down and takes that out of the game. And that's him. So, there is no point me speeding along. Whoever goes to Kansas City first, the other person gets 1 more turn. Well, actually, it's not worth going to Kansas City, but you do get a benefit of a 2-point token for ending the game. And then the other person gets another turn. But I will earn more than 2 points. He still gets to go to Kansas City and put another disc down. I'll get more than 2 points, though, by going to a train space and getting an engineer. And I don't feel like any of these objectives I can do last minute. I don't have any green outlaws. I will get 1 disc in New York, I hope. I haven't got any hazards. So it's not worth stopping off and getting an objective. A temporary certificate. Would that help? If I get rid of... What have I got here? 5, 7, 10, 12, 14. 15, 16. A temporary certificate might be the difference between doing it and not doing it. Although, there's another 3 in the deck. Surely... I've got to get rid of the Piney Woods somehow, so I need to go here and use the extra action to exchange cards to get enough to be able to go to New York. I think that's what I need to do. So we'll go there. We'll move 6 engineers worth. So what am I, 19? Oh no, it's not enough. It's not enough to get here, so we're just going to have to stop off here. So, black disc off. It's going to be this one for 3 points. I need to pay 8 to get to this station, which is fine. The money's no object. And, you know, if, with a little bit more luck, and if, you know, the better cow had come out in my hand now, I would be able to get to the extra one, but it's only 1 more point, so... The auxiliary action, I'm going to have to use exchanging cards. So what have we got? There we go. The Black Angus, discard a Piney Woods for a Black Angus. Get rid of that. So I've now got 7, 9, 12, 17, 19, 18 for New York. So I don't even have to spend any of these certificates. And that's that, isn't it? Yep, I've done the auxiliary action. Sam's last turn, I think. Yeah, because whatever he moves, it takes into Kansas City. So he does move his train 3 more spaces. Didn't hire very much, did he? 1, 2, 3. And then he does his... that's not the right button. He does his stuff in Kansas City. Putting new people out. Oh, actually, he's not triggering the end of the game. So there'll be one more turn. Yeah, because the bottom one is an outlaw. So the outlaw just goes out of the game because there's no space. And then 5, he's not going to get to go to Kansas City again, though, at least. He goes to Philadelphia. And then goes back to the beginning. And I just want to end the game, don't I? Like, slide these down. What possible difference could these make? Like, just put him in a position where he's got nowhere to go. He'd just go on his buildings then, wouldn't he? And then put out... Let's put out a builder. We haven't had a builder for ages. That pushes the token off the board. And I get the 2 points. Oh, well, I don't think anything happens with the other worker. Then, my hand is 1920, isn't it? Because of my permanent certificate. Don't want to spend the temporary one. So it's 20. And then discard your hand. I can put a black disc in New York. I could do this one. It doesn't really matter. Because that's going to be worth 9 points. Nothing else to do, I don't think. I don't know if it's really worth drawing a new hand of cards because I don't get another turn. I don't think I even go back to the start. I think I just wait there. Sam is going to move a space. And he's going to hire... Is it just the cheapest worker in general? Just the cheapest worker, yeah. So that's going to be someone from the 4 stack, and if he has a choice, his specialization is selected. So he's going to hire an engineer. Yep. And that's just it. So, just get the bit up of his rules about what he scores for. Because generally, he scores similarly to me. Where's a nice pen? So, Tom v. Sam. So we've got a point for every $5. Is that clear enough? I ended the game with 25, 32. So 6 points there. Is he moving off? Yeah, he's more central again. Sam does not score any points for that. There's no points for that. For buildings, it's just the points on the buildings you built, isn't it? I only built this one here, and I'm not really sure why. So I think I went to it once and then never again. But hey, we should go for these things. Oh, actually, he did build a couple of buildings, didn't he? He's got 4 points of buildings, so he's catching up a bit. Next up is the city spaces with your disc on them. So no points for these ones, but 6 points for having both in here. 8 points for having both in here. 4 points for having both in there is going to be 18. 6 points for every disc in Philadelphia is, forgot what the last number was, 18, 24. And then 9 here is 33. And then for Sam, that's going to be the same but not New York, which was, what, 18, 24. So he's 7 behind there. I've done the second 3, a bit weird. Stations, 1, 2, 4, 6, 11 points. Sam has got 1, 3, 6. Hazards. Sam did get a couple of hazards, to my none. He gets 8 points of hazards. It's a fairly big catch-up there. Then your cattle cards in your deck, hand, and discard pile. For me, that's going to be 6, 8. I think I did better on this. 12, 13 points. There was at least one time where he couldn't hire anything because there wasn't anything available of the little type that he had on his card. He probably would have found it more useful if his specialization had changed, because he didn't get as much use out of going to the train stations. I managed to block him off at some of them, some unintentionally. As for Sam, on his cattle cards at least, it's all just one big stack to Sam. They're all just points. But on his cattle cards, he got 3, 6 points. Then objectives. So we could do Sam's first. He did get some good objectives. 7, 10, 14, 19 points of objectives. And looking down at me, my starting one, I have a 3, I have a 4. I did build a building. So actually it was useful building a building. That gets me 3 points. I do have a disc in New York, so that's worth 5. And I do have 2 orange outlaws and my discs in 2 station spaces. So that altogether is going to be 13 points. So he's not too far ahead of me there. Next is the station master tiles. So 2 points for every certificate. So does that mean like it's the permanent one and the temporary one? So I've got one set, I think. Every certificate has permanent or temporary, yeah. So 3 points because I've got 1, 2 certificates. And then 1 for every staff member. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points for my station master tiles. Sam does not get any points for station master tiles. Then, what have we got after that? We've got, every worker that's placed in the last sections of your player board. So I've got 8 points there. Sam didn't really do any hiring. So, yeah, we can look at his player board. Yeah, Sam gets no points from that. Then, it is... space is cleared on your player board, which Sam is not eligible for. So that is... It's just this one, right? 3 points for clearing that space out. And then the job market token I got. So I feel like... Yeah, I think that was... When I was unsure early on about hiring the engineers from underneath him, I think that's definitely the thing to go for. Like, maybe it's going to be different depending on if he's... like, the whole game could be different if he's throwing buildings out all the time, because that's his specialty. And it's just going to take everyone longer to get to Kansas City and that. But, yeah, definitely in this situation, I think it was a good call buying up those engineers so he couldn't. And it just happened that he didn't hire enough to make cowboys his specialty. And then by the time he had managed to get another engineer, it was a bit too late to go anywhere. So let's total up these points then. So Sam is going to be 28, 34, 42, 48, 58, 67, I think. And then for me, that's going to be 40, 51, 64. Oh, here we go. 77, 89, 97, 102, I think. So, yeah, there were takebacks. But hey, all's fair in solo gaming. We didn't see new information, I don't think. But, yeah, and we're playing normal. You can up this difficulty loads. And maybe, depending on the actions that he does, the order that his cards come out, the difficulty you're playing on as well. Like, I could have upped that. Like, he could have started one station further along, so he would have gotten 9 more points for that. I think that's the only thing that changed for hard. Oh, and he would have started with an extra worker of every type for hard. You can play, medium, but he starts in Chicago. You can just twist that, if it's just a bit too easy. If hard's too hard and medium's too easy at the moment, you can just do that. Like, I will just no extra things apart from he starts in Chicago. And then if you're just too good at hard, then yeah, you can have him start in Toledo and just stack discs up in New York all game. But there we go. Yeah, there are a lot of times where it's cool that, in a way that I'm sure like players multiplayer that built more probably did that. Like, I'm going to put a building down. It's probably going to be good for me later, but I'm going to put a building down that costs tax, and I'm going to put it right in front of you that are stuck on this one track. You've got no choice of where to go now apart from into my building. Or like, oh, I see you're on that hazard space. It's why in... Like, I wouldn't say we played it a ton of times multiplayer. We definitely played it plenty. But these buildings down... Like, the hazard buildings, basically. The spaces that give you extra benefits that are kind of nice. They're kind of early game things, aren't they? Or, like, if you've built there, you want to be removing outlaws or hazards to make your building more accessible so you can keep using its great thing. Discard any card to get a temporary certificate. Discard a 1 to get a temporary certificate and 2 money. They always seemed like... I don't think we ever really went into buildings very much at all, especially not these ones at the hazard space. It seems so risky that we wouldn't really like to do that to each other anyway. But I imagine in a cutthroat game of it, like, you would just be... If you ever had a choice of, oh, do I want to put a hazard there or there? Well, your building's there, so I'll just put it there. It's cool that, circling back to 10 minutes ago, it's cool that you can kind of do that to the bot as well. I think I only had the chance to do that at the very end, but he was on that space, so given a choice, I'll put a hazard there and make it so he's a bit stuck. He doesn't have to worry about money like a player would. But I think, yeah, it's a cool bot. And I feel like, yeah, the Maracaibo, the 2 different bots in Maracaibo work fantastically, and the one in Boon Lake did too. But to kind of force you to make decisions and make it tougher on you, they rush you through the game, which is works very well and is fair enough. But I like that this one doesn't. It's still, getting in your way and annoying you and taking cattle away and objectives and all that stuff. And I think if we did this again on hard mode, there's a good chance it would really get in the way of me. Or if it just happened that it came out that he got to hire that engineer before me and I couldn't have that big run of stuff, it could have been very different too. But yeah, I really like this mode. Well done, everyone involved. Whoever was involved in making the new version and the original designers as well, that made Garth for the original version. Hey, fan-made things can work brilliantly. But yeah, I really like this mode, and I really enjoyed Rails to the North too. Like, Great Western Trail was great on its own, but all of the extra stuff that Rails to the North added, took it to another level. So I'm really looking forward to having that as part of this new mode, but also seeing how that could be incorporated into solo. I don't know how they would do it, because it's kind of you're activating, all the buildings and upgrades that you did on that extra board are being activated and triggered using things from the main game, but it would surely have to be a different solo mode. That's all for the future though, isn't it? For now, thank you for joining me, everyone, for some Great Western Trail. Thank you, everyone, for helping me as well, especially Skycroft. I think, you definitely deserve a lot of credit for that victory. I'll be back tomorrow night continuing the solo campaign of Hadrian's Wall. I think we're on Fort 6 now. So we'll be seeing what that throws at us. I think I need to get a load of Valor. I'll be back at 8 p.m. GMT for that. And Rachel will be joining me on Friday for some more Eon's End. We've organised it all now. We're just going to throw it all in and carry on the story for Into the Wild, leading us into Outcasts, and then it'll be Legacy. But all of this is only possible thanks to patrons, patreon.com/slickerdrips, if you would like to help me keep making things and make them better and make more of them and have a great time doing it. Thank you, everyone that does that, or for watching and subscribing and liking in general. It's all fantastic. And I appreciate you spending time with me. And yeah, we'll be back, I'm sure, with some more Yori stuff next week. What is it? I think Tapestry and its new expansion, but probably both of its expansions. Probably an all-in Tapestry next week, I think, unless something gets a load of votes. And then all of a sudden, as if by magic, it's March, and there's going to be a new vote. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Time, eh? Thank you, everyone, for being here, though. I will see you very, very soon. Tomorrow, in fact, I hope. Bye-bye, everyone. Say bye, Marty. There you go. Not even going to open his eyes as he gets tickled on the belly. That's how asleep he is. Thanks, everyone. See you very soon. Bye.